Guidesley Girls, I'm Carly.
And I'm Delaney, and we're the Guidesley Girls.
Woohoo! We have Matt with us today.
Woo! Matt's at On Target Fishing Guide Service out in Michigan. What part of Michigan again?
Correct. Big Rapids, Michigan, but I guide all over the state. So, I mean, multiple rivers throughout the state, I guide on. So, not just one river. So,
That's awesome.
Wow.
Nope.
So, how much are you traveling per trip? I guess
You
we'll
know,
just jump.
where I'm based at in Michigan is Big Rapids. So, it's kind of like the center of Michigan almost.
That's nice.
But I literally have 45 to up to an hour and a half drive from all these different rivers here in Michigan. So I'm able to commute back and forth to them and do, like I said, do trips. But yeah, not that far of a drive for me based on my location. So, which
That's
makes it
awesome.
nice for me, because
Definitely.
traveling can be a big thing too, as far as where you want to go fishing, right?
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, yeah.
So we start the podcast off with a fun game called In or Out, and it's a
Okay.
rapid fire, really easy. I'm going to say one thing, and you have to tell us whether you're in or out. And of course, they're all fishing related.
Fair enough.
Okay, so the first one, ice fishing before sunrise, in or out?
I'm gonna have to say out.
You go ice fishing.
I do.
You
But
do, but not before sunrise.
I mean, I'll get out there a little bit before, but not like right at pitch dark. No.
Yeah, I feel you there. Yeah, I feel like that's another layer of ice fishing that you just shouldn't do.
Exactly. You got to
Extreme
be
ice
committed
fishing.
for sure.
All right, in or out, catch and release only.
I'm in.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm a big catch and release guy.
Love it.
You know what I always tell people is limit your harvest, not your catch.
Okay.
If that
I
makes
like
sense.
that. Yeah.
You know, and I'm out there in the water every day, so I could keep my limit every day if I wanted, but
Right.
I'm not going to do that. Let the fish go and naturally reproduce and let them do their thing. So I'm a big catch and release guy. Let's put it
I
that way.
like that. Now, I could be testing it here. I don't know if you have a dog, and even if you don't, bringing your dog on the boat, in or out.
I'm in. Now, that all depends on my client that I'm taking during the
Okay.
day. Like if they're an older group or something, having a dog on the boat can be a little too much sometimes for them. And it all depends on who it all depends on the client and who I'm taking that day.
Do you
right?
have a dog?
And I'm a dog lover. I got 2 border collies. I have my best friend. He goes on the boat with me all the time. But
That's awesome.
what I've learned is you just got to be careful on when to bring them and when not to.
Yeah. I saw one of your videos on YouTube, and there was a dog sitting inside of the net. You said, buddy, you got to move.
Yeah.
You got to fish.
Taking up all the room. I mean, so yeah. No,
That's awesome.
No.
Okay, this is going to be interesting based on our initial conversation. Great Lakes over inland lake.
Great Lakes and
Okay, love it.
absolutely.
Posting every catch on Instagram, or we'll just say social media.
In just depends on the time of year,
Yeah.
what attention you want to draw, sometimes I delay it a little bit, I don't post them right on the day that I catch fish, but yeah, just depends.
Cool. Last
Mhm.
one. Country music on the boat, in or out?
In.
In.
I'm in.
All right, big country fan.
Yeah, big country fan, hip hop, I'm kind of all in on, both sides of that. So
Me
What are
too.
your
Me too.
opinions on music on the boat?
I like having music on the boat. Makes the day go by faster. Good vibes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it just depends on who I'm taking. Sometimes just having that peace and quiet on the river and just hearing the water and the wildlife around you, sometimes makes it enjoyable too, right? And I'm a big fan of that as well.
Love
Is
it.
there a certain genre of music that the fish like more?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm not exactly sure. Um,
It varies by state, Delaney. That's what I'm going
I know.
with.
I
There you
feel
go.
like if I were out there, I would try country one day, rap the next day, some Mozart the next day, and some smooth jazz the next, and then one
You
day
never know.
films, and then see what has
See
the
what
best.
the fish like, right?
Yeah. See what the fish like. Get your stats going.
Love it.
Whoever makes them jump in the boat faster, right?
Amen to that.
Yeah.
Matt, tell us your story. How did you get into guiding and fishing in general? I feel like you've been from our short conversation on the phone just a few weeks ago, I feel
Yep,
like you've been a fisherman your whole life. How'd you
I
get into
have.
it?
Ever since I've been little, with my dad, my grandfather, they've been around the Great Lakes, and these words are tough, migratory fish, like the
Yeah,
salmon and steelhead when they were first introduced into our, Great Lakes, they've been, chasing them, and then I was fortunate to grow up around that, and learn from them, and, I've just kind of evolved and made a full-time job out of what I do now.
that's
Truly,
awesome.
truly blessed to be able to do what I do, especially for a living. Not many can say that, um, but yeah, I remembered when I was about like 9 years old. My dad. That's when I landed my first ever steelhead. So we're on
Nice.
the river, and I'm landing this fish. We just bought a brand new net. Okay. And this is my first ever steelhead. Right? I'm 9 years old, and I can't believe I can still remember this to this day. But I can't. I can. And I'm fighting this fish. My dad's out there trying to net it. Well, when he went to net it, he hit a rock, net crumbled, broke in half. So I'm still fighting this fish, right? And his buddy's on the shore laughing his ass, laughing his butt off. Sorry, pardon my
You can
language.
say hash,
But
it's fine.
but anyway, it was he was just having, he was just laughing, and I ended up beaching it. So I
Oh,
just ended up beaching the fish right on shore without having a net. So that was my first ever steelhead,
Wow,
and
that's
then
hardcore.
Yeah, it was pretty funny, but my dad was
9-year-old
soaked from
too.
head to toe from netting the fish because he fell face first and got baptized. So, um, didn't end too well. Didn't end too well for him, but for me, it did. I
You got
I
landed
the
it.
fish.
I bet he remembers that day just as well as you, just in a different way.
Oh yeah, every
Yeah.
time I remind him, we just chuckle and laugh, and it's funny. I have that fish mounted in my room,
It's gonna ask you
to
if
this
you
day.
kept it
So
or if you left or if you gave it back. Gave it back.
nope,
Released it.
I ended up keeping it, and my dad ended up mounting it for me. It's actually
Oh,
in my
that's
bedroom, so it's
cool.
yeah,
Does
so
your
that
dad know
memory
how to mount
stays.
fish?
What's that?
Does your dad know how to mount fish?
No,
Oh,
no,
okay.
we had
Just
someone
got it
else do
done.
it. Yeah, I just had it done. Um, I have that memory saved forever. I look
Awesome.
at that fish in my bedroom, and I'm like, so that was a really cool moment. And then getting into what I'm doing now, I asked my dad, I was like, is there any way I can make a living fishing? And he's like, you can be a guide or do these bass fishing tournaments. Well, I got into the bass fishing. I did tournaments like that for a little bit, but I was more into the river fishing, um, more than I was into the bass fishing. So I was able to get into guiding, and I've been doing this right out of high school. I mean, I've been doing this since I've been 18.
Wow.
And
So
did you initially go into it to make a job out of it, or was it one of those things where one of your friends or somebody asked you to take them to the right spot and it was kind of a guided trip in and of itself?
no, it was just more of me wanting to make a living doing what I love to do, and to push myself to make it successful, which was very hard at first. Like I
I'm
was
sure.
scraping change out of my center console to put gas in my vehicle to take people out fishing. That's how I started. And now I've grown and it's evolved to where I can make it my full-time job now, and actually make a living and pay my bills. And
Yeah.
it's not easy. Anyone that's out there that's wanting to become a guide or make a business out of it, it is not easy. I mean, you got to think of all your expenses, your gas, your tackle, um, you know, all that stuff, and then of course having the experience too, and the knowledge of the river and where to take people fish. You know, to put them on
Well,
those big fish like I do. So,
well, and what's
but
seasonality like where you are too?
what's
I'm
that?
sure I'm sure you guys have quite the off season where you are too. What does seasonality look like where you fish?
Like, as far as, like, the seasons go,
Yeah, like what seasons do you fish?
I mean, I fish all year round, 365 days a year,
And you're running
um,
trips all year round?
all year round, but wintertime's kinda my downtime a little bit in the winter, but I have the rivers that don't freeze, so I'm able to continually run my boat, and I got heaters on the boat, and we do winter steelhead fishing, so and then
Cool.
also also I do ice fishing trips as well. So, um, you know, you
What's the insurance like on that?
know, stay safe. No. Yeah. No.
I feel
No.
like
That's
it'd be a
cool.
fun day to bring a hot chocolate out with the family and just go ham.
Oh, especially if you never ice fished before or experienced it, it's kinda cool, and I got electronics too that make it fun, so you can actually see the fish, when you're out there on the ice, so, makes it
Oh,
enjoyable, right? So, yeah.
All right, I'm in. We're going to Michigan. We can
There you
see
go.
at our office in Buffalo, you can see ice fishermen all winter, like really close to us. And it's cool. And I drive past it every day in to work and on my way home. And I've never been. I grew up in Buffalo my whole life and I've never gone fishing. But
Yeah.
it's so crazy that like I live on a great lake and like it's a huge thing. And I didn't realize how big fishing was until I started working at Guidesley. Like so many people do it for
Oh,
fun
for sure.
as their job. I mean, it's incredible to me that there's people out there like you, Matt, that especially at such a young age, you were able to, scrape the coins and make a true business out of it. And you're
Right.
flourishing now, it sounds.
No, absolutely, and I must be doing something right if people keep coming back, so
That's awesome.
right? But yeah, it's cool, especially electronics now. It's just a game changer in the fishing industry. You got Live Scope, you got Garmin, you got Humminbird, all these different companies that make fantastic product on hunting down the fish. And
Yeah,
it also just makes your job a lot easier too.
yeah.
But it makes it fun too because it's like a video game on the water, which
that's
but
cool.
What was it like when you started out though? What kind of electronics were out
And
and about
that's
were you
and that's
using?
the cra and that's a great question, like, before this all evolved, I mean, I was kinda in the middle of it, right? Where live scope wasn't even a thing, so I had to go out and, you're learning how to set your depth up, where to run, or how deep to fish, like, you were all just kinda eyeballing it and kinda feeling it out, but now that
Right.
the electronics has came along, it makes it so much easier for you, to tune in and dial it down to where you need to be, so
Was
but
thinking about that. I was scrolling through some of your YouTube shorts, and
yeah.
this is gonna be a long preface to an actual question coming, I swear. But
Yeah,
watching your videos, so much of it is chasing a bobber and just watching it and you talking through it and talking your client through it, and you can almost hear you being in tune with the fish and knowing when it's gonna come, when it's gonna bite. It's like it's a very intuitive thing, and you can feel that you're linked to that fish and you know what's going on and you have a sense for the water. Do you think to an extent some of that's been lost with this new generation of a lot of fishermen that are almost relying upon the electronics to guide them?
absolutely, and I think it's a problem with most fishermen too. They rely on that technology so much, and they get away from the actual fishing part of it and catching part of it. But with those electronics, I mean, it can make any novice angler a great angler if you know how to use it correctly. But you also have to know how to catch those fish. You
Right.
can mark all the fish you want on electronics, but if you don't know how to catch them, then
You're
yeah,
screwed.
right. So you can spot as many as you want, but you still gotta know how to catch them too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And a
Um,
lot of those videos in the smaller rivers, you really don't need the electronics, um, to find them. Because if there's a fish in a hole that you're fishing, I don't need to go with my electronics by it and say, "Hey, there's fish in there." Well, I already know there's fish in there, that's why I'm fishing, right?
Yeah. Well,
So
what do you call it? Aquarium fishing when you can see them all right there?
yes. Yep, and that makes it easy too when you got a small river and you got a bunch of fish congested into one hole. Yeah, it's pretty much aquarium fishing at that point. But
That's
um,
gotta be fun.
yeah, no, it's really fun. I highly recommend you guys coming up on a trip and
we
fishing in the
should.
fall. It would be a great experience
It
for
looks
sure.
so cool, and I'm gonna ask one more intuitive question because I think
Go for it.
it's just one of those things that you see somebody do and you feel they have the sense for it, and obviously am so early in the game that I don't have a sense for it yet and don't fully
Mhm.
understand because 'cause I'm just being guided and taught the just basics of
Being
fishing.
told what to do, right? Yep.
Yeah, I'm being
Yeah.
told what to do, I'm not thinking for myself, I'm not feeling it out, I'm starting to kind of see and know what everybody's talking about, it's not just running around and doing.
Yeah.
What point do you feel like that intuition came for you after you caught that first fish when you were 9? Do you think it happened right then and there and it was a natural thing, or did it develop over time?
It developed a little bit over time once I fine-tuned and got the knowledge of how to teach people and coach people, and teach it the right way. Sometimes I feel like today, I felt like I was repeating myself over and over again on how to do this, and what, teaching that person on what to do. No, some people are fast learners, some people aren't. But a big one is
Mm,
learning patience with people when you're river fishing for these fish. Sometimes it's not easy for someone, especially like you said yourself, if you've never done it, and it's just your first time. But it definitely helps to have the right guide to teach you um, the ways and make it easier for you. But yeah, I'd say like maybe in high school, just out of high school. But like I said, I've grown up around it my whole life with my dad and my grandfather. I've got a lot of that knowledge and coaching from them to teach me. But yeah, I wouldn't have done it straight out of high school if I didn't think I could do it. Let's just put it that way.
Absolutely.
yeah.
I mean, a big
Yeah,
risk.
yeah, absolutely.
Speaking of your dad and your grandfather, who's in the picture behind you and what kind of fish is that? I keep
Okay.
staring at it.
Yeah, so that one behind me, that was literally right out of high school. So I'll tell you a story on that fish, okay? This is crazy. And I had clients that day. I had two people with me, and they had no idea, how big these fish were. And they're new, so they had no idea. And that right there is a 20-pound coho. So that is a coho salmon. But
What's the
I got
average size of a coho salmon just for
so
reference for us?
so an average coho salmon like here in Michigan's like 8 pounds, 8 to 10, maybe 10 pounds
Oh,
is a
that's a
pretty big one. So
whopper.
so that's a big fish. Like for a coho, that's a pretty big fish. But I also caught a 23-pound steelhead that same day I caught that fish. But
Oh my God.
there's a story behind that. So I only took out of this whole day, I only took 4 casts. Okay, I
Wow.
took 4 casts. So that fish came on demonstration, and then the other one I got. It's in my other room. I'll have to show you guys that later if we do another podcast. But that was 23 pounds. That was a steal, but both came on demonstrations. They didn't want to reel them in. I was like, here you go. Here's like reel the fish in, reel the fish in. Well, they wanted to hook their own fish and reel it in, which I'm okay with that. I mean, I do a lot of like rod handoffs for people, and so they can feel the power of these fish and let them reel them in. Because hooking them sometimes is the hard part, right? Hooking these fish is, the hard part. But yeah, those guys didn't had no idea what they saw, and it was pretty crazy when we landed it too. Like and netting these fish is almost just as hard too. You
I'm
know,
sure.
yeah, netting them is a hard is the hardest part too. So, but
Be some kind of record.
I I was looking up the previous record for that steelhead,
I
which is
would
in my
too.
other room, and I was like at the time 3 pounds off the state record. And then that coho, what the um I forgot what the record is
Cool.
for that. But anyway, both big fish. Like I probably fish I'll never catch again. You know,
And in this same day, nonetheless.
same
Yeah,
day, same day. Yep. Yep. That's the crazy part. Now that's the crazy. And I only took 4 casts. You got to remember, I only took 4 casts the whole trip on demonstration.
right.
So,
Those are the
yeah.
two. Oh my
Well,
God.
and who are you out with?
Um, oh gosh, some people I took out. This was like I said, straight out of high school. I was like 19 at the time.
Did they understand the weight of what was happening and how that
No,
went
and
down?
that's the crazy
They're
part. They
like,
had no idea. They thought that steelhead was a salmon.
sounds like me.
But it
Yeah,
was yeah,
honestly.
because it was that big, and they thought it was a salmon because the salmon get bigger than the steelhead do. So, um, but yeah, it was pretty
Can you
crazy. Like
imagine
I
that's
was
like
all freaking out. You can only imagine me because I get excited because I love what I do. So I was just freaking out, like I was just going, insane. And they're like, "Wow, that's a nice fish," and I'm like, "Dude, you guys don't realize what I
You
just
the
don't
caught
get it.
here."
they The rest of
Um,
their fishing career is jacked if that was their first time out. If that's, like,
yeah.
their
Oh, for
standard of it,
sure.
it
Are you
doesn't get any
kidding?
better than that.
Well, just to see a fish that size, like, you don't
Right.
see something like that every day, so being out there and experiencing that is just something, yeah, you like, how can you forget that, right?
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's the story behind that
I
guy right
love
there.
that. I was gonna say that this might be the answer to the question, but
Okay.
um, what is the craziest story or guiding experience you've had on the water? In your, I feel like you've been doing this for what, 10, almost 10 plus years?
Yep. Yep. Going
Do you
on
have
10
like a
plus, yeah.
crazy story that sticks with you? You're like, that was either like funny or you're like, oh shit, I can't believe we survived that.
Oh, man, I got a couple of them. Alright, like, you want dramatic story, like,
Anything.
like,
You can give
anything?
us a top 2 or 3 too. His career's flashing before his eyes right now, Carly. I can
Yeah.
So, I got this client of mine, I call him Cranberry Tim. Cranberry
Cranberry
Tim,
Tim.
he owns a cranberry farm down in
That's
Lower,
That's
awesome.
my
Lower
dream field trip.
Yeah, so, anyway, he's one of my favorite clients, he's an older guy, but he's one of those older guys that's, like, really, stout, like, you don't wanna mess with him, right? So, anyway, we're fishing on the Muskegon one day, and not to mention the water was really low. Okay, so you got rocks, you got logs, you got to know how to navigate through this river so you don't hit anything and don't ruin your boat, right? So we're downstream and there's this rock that sticks like right up in the middle of the river. And if you don't know it's there, you're going to hit it. So there's these two couple, and I'm not going to bash names about the boat and who made it and whatnot, but they just bought a brand new jet boat from a dealer here in Michigan. And they had it built, designed. Well, they were out on the river, and the people they bought it from, they hooked the hydraulic steering backwards. So when you turn right, it turns left. Okay,
Oh,
and
that
these are a
sounds
couple. And
terrible.
they've never used a jet boat or ran a jet boat ever in
No.
their life. So they have no, they really don't know what they're doing.
That's like the greatest April Fool's Day prank ever.
Yeah, absolutely.
Scary.
Scary. Yeah, not cool. But we were down there and they went by us, and then they ended up about 15 minutes later, they come back down flying on full plane because you can't slow down on a jet boat. You got to go full throttle to get over the shallow spots, because if you don't, you're gonna dig and you're just gonna mess
Uh,
a lot of stuff up, especially when the water's low. And they're coming downstream, and he goes to turn right and he turns left and hits the rock. Boat turns sideways. They both get ejected out of the boat.
oh my God.
Luckily, they landed in a patch of like grass that was in the middle of the river. Boat is doing donuts out in the river, because they didn't have the kill switch
Oh
on. They didn't
my
have the
God.
kill switch on. So the boat just does a V line right to a bunch of rocks on shore, and freaking
That's
yeah,
it.
that was it. And then me and Tim saw the whole thing, and we're just like, "Holy crap! We got to make sure they're okay." Like, we literally, like, quick as we could, put all our gear in, went up, and make sure they're okay, help them get the boat out. But yeah, their oars snapped in half. Like, it was a big crash. Like, I'm lucky. They're glad they ain't seriously injured after that. Because it was dangerous. Like, I've never seen a boat accident like that ever. Like,
Well,
in
and
my
how
life,
fast were they going too?
full throttle. Like, you got a 115/80 jet. Um, so yeah, just imagine 30 miles an hour hitting a rock, boat turns
Oh,
sideways, and then
yeah.
yeah. Oh, it was, and I'm just glad that they were okay.
Yeah.
Looking
Well,
Me
he
back
too.
on it.
free
So
boat
yeah,
on.
all of us, right? All of us that are watching, right? But anyway,
Kinda need to know more about Cranberry Tim. I love his
I
name.
wanna get hooked up with Cranberry Tim because that is like a Delaney
you
weekend
girls
adventure that I
would
would
love him.
have.
My fiance actually likes. He's like one of her favorite clients that I take fishing.
Really?
That's
So
awesome.
but yeah, he is the coolest guy you'll ever meet.
How'd you guys first
So
meet?
and makes me honey. So every time I take him out fishing, he makes me homemade honey. So
Cranberry Tim does it
He
yeah,
again.
sounds like
I
the
put it in
man.
my coffee. You ever have honey in your coffee?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
never from
But
Cranberry Tim, so it's not the same.
it's not the
Sure.
same. No. definitely not.
Did
But
he
yeah,
just
he's came
randomly
on
book with you? Okay.
multiple trips with me, and yeah, truly blessed to have him as one of my favorites.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
You
You
know,
seem like you have a pretty cool clientele. Like even just in your videos, everybody seems very personable, like they're having a great time, and like that's partially a lot to the atmosphere that you create, I'm sure. But do you
100%.
feel like your clientele's kind of leveled out to a very Matt in a very Matt way?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess just like, they enjoy going out with me, and that's like I said before, people keep coming back. So I must be doing something right in that
Definitely.
aspect. But I always enjoy new faces, and new people that come out. And it seems like every time they do, they always come back and give me a call and wanting to go again. So um, but yeah, I make it really fun. So
Sounds like it.
right.
You sound
What's
like
the
you're
point?
doing a lot online, like YouTube and stuff. Like, are you like shooting content on every boat ride you go on? Are you saying like, "Hey, I'm gonna capture this"? Like, any specifics you like are trying or aiming for when you're out there? You're just like, "Hell, I'm gonna put the camera up and see what happens."
You know, I do it for the clients, mainly so I capture those moments for them. That's more important to me than just getting content for my Instagram and everything, I mean, I do it whenever I want but it's more for them than anything.
That's
Um,
nice.
so absolutely, and then they can always look back at that and, you know,
What's been your favorite thing about guiding? I feel like you're really good at connecting
y
with your clients and
you
understand.
know yeah, and no, that's a great question. It's just meeting the people, meeting new people all the time. Yeah, I mean, I've met some pretty awesome people, and I've also met some really terrible people. Not
Sure,
you know what I mean. I meet a lot of different people, different personalities, and things like that. But it's just interacting with people and showing them how to fish, the right way, and make them a better angler too. But yeah, I pretty much think that's pretty much it, really, and I just enjoy doing it. I really enjoy it's like a kid, I take kids out fishing and seeing those kids reeling those big fish, the look on their faces after they reel it in is just priceless.
I'm sure.
And that is probably like the best feeling too as a guide, is putting, those kids on big fish too. Um, you know,
I was gonna
but
ask you about that. You seem like you have a very natural knack for coaching. Not every single guide is like that. Not everybody's able to talk you
no,
through it like you are. I mean, again, I
no,
say the videos you can
no,
hear you talking them through it. Has that
absolutely.
always been a part of your guiding?
Absolutely, I think it should be for anybody, for any
Yeah,
guide,
I
like,
agree.
that's what you're there to do, so why aren't you doing it? Some guys will just hand you out, "Here you go," they don't really care. They just out there, you know what I mean? And that's a big one, right? And that's any with any, person looking at wanting to book with a guide, you gotta do your research, making sure you go with the right person that's gonna help you, in that department, like you were saying, because and like I said, there's people are more fast learners than others, so it's just but having the right coach, having the right teacher, is very important, when you're out there, especially if you've never done it before.
If you were a client and this is
Mhm,
gonna make you brag on yourself a little bit. If you were a client going to book a trip in your area, you were in town from, let's say, Georgia or something.
mhm.
If you were to book your trip, what do you think the client would be looking for in your trips? What do you think sets you apart from a lot of the guided trips in your area? It makes a day out on the water with you special.
More I don't know, just being professional, I guess, um, right? Being more professional and, teaching people the right methods, on what to do out there. I mean, and just doing the research, before you book with somebody, right? I mean, that's probably your most important thing, right? Is doing your homework on Google or, social media, seeing what's going on. If they're a full time guide or, but I mean, I take all different skills levels. It does, you know what I mean? But I think that's a big one is you doing your research. But if I was, going to let's say if I was going to Florida looking for a charter for a fishing guide, right? You know what I mean? I'm asking them questions like what kind of gear do you got? What do you provide? You provide the bait, you provide the tackle, all those little things um, that they should already include with the trip because that's what you're paying for, right? Um, and that, I guess that pretty much sums up what kind of experience they have too, and who they know, um, and and, and that kind of thing. Uh, so
Have you, been fishing have you gone fishing in Florida? I mean, you're a guide in Michigan, so obviously you're out fishing in Michigan a lot, but where else in the country have you gone?
I've gone to Florida. Now I want to adventure and go do some more, go to different places and fish, which would be great. It's
Yeah,
just Michigan, you can't beat it. You really can't beat Michigan. Michigan literally has everything you need. It's got browns, it's got trout, it's got salmon, I mean, literally any freshwater fish you can think of, we have it here in Michigan. Versus some of these other states where they got to travel to catch these kind of fish. And that's why
right.
we're blessed to have the fishery we have here in Michigan, right? But, a cool place I would always wanted to go to um I think it's in South America. They got these these Dorado. They're a big yellow, they're like a big yellow trout. But I follow a guy, he's a jungle angler, look him up. He
Cool.
does fly fishing for these big Dorados. And, oh, they're just such a cool fish. I don't know, I've always wanted to catch one. But that's probably one place I'd really would like to go. Alaska, surprisingly, I have not ever been to Alaska, and a lot of Michigan guides have. They've experienced that, but I've able to build a business around here in Michigan, so I never had the need to go up there to guide or to work up there. I've kind of been able to keep it local,
That's
here in Michigan, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
So you get to stay in your own home and do it, huh?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely, but I definitely would like to go up there and experience it one day, for sure.
yeah. We have a team member who went to Alaska a few months ago over the summer, actually with his grandma, and they went fishing with one of our with the guide's guide, which was really cool. Um, and the pictures that came back, I was like, "This doesn't even it looks fake."
It
Yeah, it's like
does.
something on a National Geographic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
Yeah,
It's a
no,
fantasy world. No, but he
it
does
is.
the same thing that you were talking about. That guide is based in Buffalo, and he'll go up for 16 weeks during the summer to
Absolutely, yep.
Alaska
Yeah,
and
it's
look.
all summertime, then they come back here, and then they'll guide for the salmon. Like, a lot of guys will do that here in Michigan, they'll go up there for the summer, and then they come back down here around, like, September, and they'll guide the salmon here, and then they'll transition to steelhead, which is right now, so but I just feel like I'd get burned out if I was up there in Alaska guiding salmon all summer, and then I had to come back down here. Like, now as a guide, I feel that because I do. There's times where you feel like you get burned out,
Yeah.
like because you're targeting the same fish every day. But I'm just glad that I'm actually not doing that. So,
Yeah.
it makes
How
it.
how do you balance that with your schedule? Because it is so tough on your body. Those are long days you're pulling. It
Yeah,
sounds
and
like business is going
absolutely it
really
is.
well
It's
for
not
you.
just going out there and catching fish either. I mean, this is you're putting in the work, your hands are getting all tore up and from these fish but yeah, I mean, I got to take days where I need sleep. You know
Sure.
what I mean? My number one motto is eat, sleep and fish, right? Those are
Yeah.
the three things, but yeah, you gotta take time for mental health day and get your sleep because you don't want the worst thing you wanna do is go with a grumpy guide in the morning when you book a
True
trip. You don't
that.
wanna go with the guy and you don't want that. So, I'm very good about that, and then I've also have a guy that helps me run trips. His name is Noah, and shout out to Noah because he's one of my best friends, and I'm really blessed to have him help me
That's
run
awesome.
trips. And he does a fantastic job, so he kinda helps me fill in when I need rest, so
Woo, go Noah.
What?
yeah, go Noah,
Go
absolutely,
Noah, and
100%.
what an awesome problem to have. I mean, how awesome is it that you have to take days off and implement that into your schedule? That's amazing that business is going so well.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and I'm blessed that it has been, so, that's for sure.
Great. You know One of my favorite things about all of our guides to hear on these podcasts is, I mean, they're all obviously in different areas. You guys are from all over the place. We had one from West Palm last week. One of them was in Buffalo a couple weeks ago, I think, all over the place. But everybody, it seems like such a bottomless pit with every single ecosystem you're in of just constantly learning, constantly changing. Eh, You could never get to the end of all the information of what's going on in your area. It's like a why leave. I feel like so many of the guides that we've talked to have said the same thing of why leave Michigan or why leave West Palm. It's so
Yeah,
great. We have endless opportunity. I can never stop learning.
yeah.
It's pretty
It's like
cool.
all the people I grew up in high school, they once they graduate, they wanted to leave Michigan. They want to leave. They want to go experience somewhere else. And it's like here they come running back to Michigan, because they didn't enjoy yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no,
In
you're absolutely right.
in Buffalo, they call those boomerangs. They have the blow-ins, people that come in from other places, and then boomerangs, the people that go away and say, "Oh wait, I actually miss it. It's pretty great there," and they come back.
Yep. The boomerang effect, is that what it
Yeah.
is? Yeah. No, absolutely, and it's so funny, I've actually had a lot of people come up from New York, up here to fish because of the crowds, and the people. I heard the people in New Buffalo and, like, the Salmon River, I hear it's just elbow to elbow with people,
Yeah,
and I don't
it's
know if that's true,
Yeah.
but from
it
all the horror
is.
stories I've been hearing from people I've taken, it's just gotten ridiculous and out of hand,
Yeah.
down there.
Yeah,
Uh
we have, obviously, there's a lot of fishermen on our team, and,
Mhm.
a few weeks ago, Caden on our team showed me a picture in Buffalo, and I could not get over the amount of people, like, in the water, like you said, elbow to elbow. I'm like, "What? How is anyone even catching a fish? Like, are
And
you
how is
fighting
that
each other for it?"
enjoyable?
Yeah,
I know, I feel like that's so much of the appeal of getting out there that you're getting away from the hustle and bustle and all the things, and then you
it's
just go and it
quiet.
swarms and everybody's doing it.
Yep. No, and absolutely, that's when YouTube became a big I've had my Instagram shoot since I've been in high school, which was, like, back in 2012,
Frogs.
2013. Yeah, I've and right, right. But you see how social media has evolved, like, YouTube is a perfect example. Anyone can go on YouTube and look at how to do it, how to set your stuff up, or,
Right,
and then everyone's trying to figure out where you're fishing. Okay,
right,
everyone's looking at the
Right.
background trying to figure it out, and then next thing you know, you got 100 people fishing the same water you got because they saw you on YouTube. That's why I'm really particular on what I post on YouTube and
Yeah.
why I haven't really got into it when I should have really, but I it would have, what's the blowing my cover, right? You blow your
yeah,
cover on
yeah,
where you take people
Right.
fishing. That's a big one, right? And
Well, that's
then
part
like
of
you
the
said,
professionality, I
yeah,
feel like. I mean, I
yeah,
I think that
absolutely.
that's something that you don't think about until after it's too late. I was out with one of our guides a couple weeks ago or like a month ago with my grandparents, and he was like, "Can we angle the picture this way?" And I asked why, because I just didn't know. And he goes, "I don't want anybody to steal my spots. Respectfully, this is my livelihood and my business. If I have people crowded on top of me, it really,
Yep,
ruin that. I have to blur the background in certain ways and format it certain ways. So if I can play smart about it, I will."
absolutely. Absolutely.
totally
No,
makes sense.
and I had opportunity to get into do a lot of YouTube videos when I was younger and stuff, but there's a reason why I didn't do that is because I didn't want to blow my cover on where I take people out. A lot of these people then they get YouTube famous and then all of a sudden they're a guide. Now they're advertising as a guide and it's like who
Right.
the who's this but anyway, yeah, no, you got to be careful.
Yeah, I would be curious to have you wanna talk to one of our Buffalo guides and pick their brain about why the salmon fishing's like that here, because David, our CEO, he said that the other day. He went out with one of our investors up on Ontario. They're fishing the mouth
Okay.
of the 18-mile creek up there, and they
Yeah.
said it just crowded beyond belief, and it was like 1 p.m. They were
Mhm.
fishing on Thursday, and there were that many people.
Yeah.
So I would be
Uh,
curious to know why it's so
It
different.
it's almost like there isn't a secret out there though anymore too now because of how social media's evolved over time, So yeah, no, it's I think just more and more people have just gotten into the sport, especially during COVID. Now that during COVID, everyone was shut down, everyone was getting all
Like
stir
the
crazy. Well, the
right.
best social distancing was going out fishing. So I feel like a lot of people got into fishing once COVID hit too. Um,
Yeah.
is another one, but yeah, our poor governor, she shut us down, our fishing, commercial fishing during
Really?
COVID. So yeah,
Really?
I lost so much. Yeah, my whole spring was screwed because it was in March when everything was shut down. So I couldn't do any commercial fishing, and then let alone I didn't want to get caught guiding someone. But that's the best social distancing you can get is being out there on the water, and then you just cost a lot of people's pockets
Livelihood.
trying to
Yeah.
livelihood trying to pay their bills and stuff, right? And you shut let alone shut commercial fishing down. What the hell, make it? And then she's up in I won't go into that, but eh, yeah,
We hear you.
yeah, no, yeah, but yeah, no, I think that was a big one too, was COVID,
Yeah.
got a lot of people into the fishing.
With
Um,
good reason. I mean, it's amazing. I get the draw. I feel like everybody did kind of reset during COVID, but I feel like it ruined some of the sacred moments and spots for sure. So,
yeah, oh, for sure, for sure. But I think a lot of it's just YouTube and that kind of deal. But I think that's been like that for a while though too,
mm,
hasn't it?
definitely.
Salmon River, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Tippy Dam up here on the Manistee River. Tippy Dam, everyone's shoulder to shoulder up there casting, you know,
Really?
for salmon and stuff. That's a cool spot if you just want to drink a 6 pack of beer and just watch people fish.
All
You get the
right.
best entertainment you could ever get. Like it's
I'm
just free
sure.
entertainment just watching people break their rods. I
That's
just sit
funny.
there and just drink a beer and watch, all the crap that's
Tippy
going.
Tippy
Yep.
Dam and
Tippy
Cranberry
Dam.
Tim.
Two takeaways.
Yep.
That's gotta feel so good to give people a pure dose of fishing in this day and age, though, because you have
Yeah.
to work to give people that nowadays with all the social media out there. That's gotta feel awesome taking a client out and really giving them that just
Def
experience that nobody else
Well,
is
and
giving.
then I'm all about getting away from people too. It's not like where I
Right.
take people, there's 100 people around, I don't put up with that I don't put up that. You book a trip with
Yeah.
me, I'm not gonna have
Ah,
someone come in and
I
anchor
love
by
that.
me. I shouldn't have to fish and see people fishing on both sides of me, especially when someone's booking a trip. You know,
Right.
I you have some respect for, you should have some respect for that,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, it's a cool, and like I said, I wake up early to get the best spot in the river, for my guys and the clients I'm taking. So, um, I make it enjoyable. Let's just put it that way.
So, before we hopped on, we were talking about how you're from Michigan, Matt, and I don't know why. I think just because I'm born and raised Buffalonian, so obviously I have to be a diehard Buffalo Bills fan.
Okay, fair
And
enough.
for some reason, I was talking about, oh, if I had to pick a second team, it would be the Detroit Lions. Now, I don't know if you watch football, and I don't know what I'm talking about. Um, I saw one of our guides had taken out a few Buffalo Bills players over the summer, and I just thought that was cool. Like, he didn't blow up their spot, obviously, like, he was just chill about it. And the only reason we saw the pictures was because of Jack AI here at Guidesley, and, they come through. I'm like, "Wow, that's really cool." Like, I wonder what they talked about, fishing, football, whatever. Have you ever taken, maybe not a football player, maybe a football player, but have you ever taken somebody really cool out that, like, you're like, "Whoa, I didn't know you were in Michigan," or
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've taken quite a few, not quite a few, but I've taken a handful of professional athletes out. Absolutely.
That's cool.
One of them, his name is Will Fries, and then Danny Pinter. They played for
Okay,
the Indianapolis Colts.
sweet.
Funny how this story was. So they came up fishing with me on a bye week. So they had a
Nice.
bye weekend and they wanted to go fishing. So they hit me up on Instagram. They found me on Instagram, and I hit them back, and was like, "Hey, come on up. Let's go to Michigan, go fishing." And yeah, they
That's
came up,
sweet.
and talk about a whole different person when you see them in person. Like
Oh,
these
I'm
guys are
sure.
monsters, and I'm 6'2". I'm a pretty big dude myself, but these guys make me look small. You know what
Wow.
I mean? Like these guys
Yeah.
are just huge. And you can only imagine what they look like, in pads. If you guys ever been to a professional football
Yeah.
game before, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. And it was cool. I got to meet them, and he's actually came back with me quite a few times now,
Really?
Cool.
fishing. So, and he's actually given me some tickets. I actually went to my first professional football game
Dude, sweet.
down in Indy. He gave me some tickets, and It was so cool. But
Well,
seeing
now
those
I like
guys in
Indy.
person, seeing those guys though in person and in those pads is just mind blowing. I mean, those guys are beasts. I mean, they're
Yeah.
a whole
That's
different
cool.
animal. Yeah.
That's so sweet, though.
You wouldn't want to be running the ball and get in front of one of those
No.
guys.
All set.
I'm
No.
5'4", so nothing.
All
Same.
right. Oh yeah.
That's
That's really
Yep.
awesome.
cool.
But
Probably meet their whole entire season, though. Like, you have 1 bye week, and that's what you do. That's awesome.
and they came up and they had it was one of my best trips I had that whole entire fall, like, where they caught nothing but, like, like, pigs. Like, one Danny caught was 15, and the other one, I think Will caught was, like, 16, so a 15-pounder and a 16-pounder in that same day was
No wonder you
nuts.
got
Nice.
tickets.
And we caught a handful of steelhead too that day, it was a fun trip.
That's cool.
Yep,
So you earned
yep.
those tickets that go around.
I
Yeah.
did. No, they were blown away. Like, and they'd done some fishing before. One of them's from Wisconsin, so he fishes over in Wisconsin a lot. And but yeah, it was cool. It
That's
was really
awesome.
cool. You know, and then a couple baseball players from the Tigers I've taken out fishing. One's Tyler Collins is his name. He was a
Cool.
center fielder for the Tigers, and then he played for Kansas City. But yeah, he's retired. He's out of it. But yeah, it's cool. It's cool just to go out there and not even talk football, just talk about just normal life things, because that's what they're up
Yeah.
there to do.
That's
Because
what they wanna
football is their
do.
job. When
Right.
Right.
the last thing they want to do is talk about football. When we're out there fishing. You know what I
Right.
mean? So,
Yeah.
Right.
but
You
yeah,
wanna talk fishing.
yeah, right, or yeah, they
It's
just want to be out
amazing
there.
to me how many, like, professional athletes love fishing. We've
Yep.
got, like, our media guy on the team, he's, like, a big basketball guy, and the amount that he talks about of, like, all of these athletes, like, professional athletes that love to fish, it is just you could be my two-year-old son in Buffalo, you can be on a professional team, and people just love fishing. It's amazing to
Yep.
me.
Feel like it especially makes sense for athletes, though, and I bet they're easier to coach for you
For
sometimes with,
sure.
like, clients, because it is an athlete's mentality of there's a science to it, there's research that you have to do, you can get better at it, it's a craft, and there's
Oh
so
yeah.
many
Right,
layers to that, but at the same time, it's meditative too. So it's a meditative sport.
Yep.
right. It's
Right.
calming.
It's calming, and exactly it. To get away from all the craziness and the football, and the baseball or whatever athlete you are.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
it's just nice to be out there and not get beat up too. Those football players get beat up out there on that field
I don't
every
know how they
day.
do it.
You know what I mean? Like it takes a toll on their bodies. It
Yeah,
really does. Especially as a running back. Gosh,
yeah,
it could be a running back. Was it Derrick Henry? He's one of the running backs there, I think, for the Ravens now or whatever, but he's just a running, taking the toll on your body. Just any kind of athlete though, any football.
right. Well, no concussions on Matt's boat.
No, no. I've had a concussion before playing basketball, and that it's not
I thought
fun.
you were gonna say fishing on your boat, you
Me
had one.
too, I was like,
No,
"Come on."
I was like,
no.
"Matt!"
Well, it's been so much fun, Matt, getting to talk to you
Yeah,
and
this is
learn
awesome.
about some of your guiding stories and really cool fish that you've caught in Michigan as a whole. So thank you for spending so much time with us today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. I'm glad we were able to set this up, and hopefully we can do this again maybe sometime in the future or soon.
Do it in person. That's always my
Absolutely.
goal.
That would be even better.
Please,
Love it.
and let
Absolutely.
us know when steelhead season starts to ramp up a little bit.
April. March and April is usually the
Good
best.
to know, same for Buffalo.
But
Good to know.
April would be your best bet to get away from people.
April it is.
Okay,
Nope.
we'll
Nope.
mark the calendar.
All right, let's do it. We'll make it happen.
Cool stuff.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All
Thanks,
right,
Matt.
All right. Take care.
bye, nice to meet
Bye.
you.